Takeaway with Tyra. Thank you for joining me today. Now, so that you don't miss out on any of my updates, please be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I also like hearing from you, so go ahead and like and comment. My guests are always exciting and have great things to share with us. What I do on this show is I have one guest and I ask them one question. Then they get the floor. So here we go. So hello and thank you everyone for joining me today. As you can see on the takeaway, I have a special guest. This lady does webinars in Hebrew, and I thought that was really exciting. So Ilanette, did I say that correctly?
Yes, that is. Thank you, Tyra.
A beautiful name. Welcome to the takeaway. I'm so glad to have you with me today.
Thank you. So wonderful to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Good. So we found out that she's just down the coast from me. I'm on Vancouver Island and she's over, did you say Los Angeles?
Yes.
So that's almost neighbors. You know, the world has gotten so small that sometimes thousands of miles don't seem like anything really anymore, does it?
That's so true. I'm actually in the San Fernando Valley, to be exact, in a place called Tarzana. Okay. A lot of Hebrew speakers here down the coast. And just like you said, I communicate with people who are local here and live throughout the United States, and as well some in Israel too.
That's
even Europe.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, you know, this is the diversity that I am discovering in these years I've been with ONPASSIVE, is people of many different languages and cultures are jumping in because they are excited, and we're able to get the information about ONPASSIVE out globally because of people like yourself speaking in a different language. So without further ado, we discussed a question that, you know, many people bring this up to me when I talk to them about ONPASSIVE. They'll say, oh, well, I'm not techie at all, so I couldn't do that. And, you know, there's also people that say, yes, I'm in because I understand technology. I can do this. So I want you to talk to us a bit about why ONPASSIVE can work for someone that, say, understands technology, but also for people that haven't a clue about technology and are barely online. So take it away.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. I love the title. As a matter of fact, I'd like to open with saying that my mom, who's over 70, calls me a dinosaur technology. I always get the last phone, the oldest phone, and I'm like so not up to par with technology in my family's mind. So I tell my peers and my friends in ONPASSIVE, if it's good for me, it's probably good for you too. And so I definitely do not have a techie background at all. But I do go on the internet. I did challenge myself by myself, and also using some services in the past with some online businesses. But it's not my forte. And so over time, really what happened, I'll tell you briefly my little story with ONPASSIVE. I founded a community of women entrepreneurs, Hebrew speakers. And I wanted to take that community service project that I did, it's at no cost for entrepreneurs, to the next level. Mm-hmm. So I was looking to create my blog and a website and have some smart links and so on, and move it to a business level. And the more I paid and learned about WordPress, Elementor, and others, the deeper I felt that I was just drowning and drowning and drowning. Like I started getting lost. And you know how we say it's all about timing, right? And I get this message, actually a really short message from my friend Molly, who I will forever be thankful for her, and to her and to her husband Menachem. You have to call me in the morning because she's overseas. There's something amazing, an amazing technology project. And I'm thinking to myself, on one hand, I'm extremely excited. Of course, I didn't sleep all night. And on the other hand, like, what is she talking to me about technology? I mean, she's not tech savvy in any way, shape, or form. She says that openly. But I trusted her and her husband, being good-hearted people. And I assumed that if they're calling me to see something, it's probably something they're truly excited about. So I joined the presentation. I must say that back then, it's almost a year ago. It was October 30th, 2020, when I first signed up for ONPASSIVE. But I joined this presentation, and you know what? I didn't understand much. And as a matter of fact, there was the sound was not even, human sound, and I was, really kind of even upset. I was impatient about it because you know how we're loaded with information all
Right.
the time, and the one thing we have consistently is 24 hours every day. So we have to make our choices. Where do we invest them, right? But I trusted them. And although I was very impatient with the first presentation, I joined another presentation.
Okay.
And what I understood there is that, and we'll get into the techie part in a minute, but what I understood there is that in order to learn more about it, I better go into the back office, sign those pay those $97 that are risk-free because they said that they'll return it if I don't like what I see,
Right.
and further check it out. And I like checking new things. I consider myself open-minded. I felt blessed that they offered me to join and hear about this opportunity. And also I felt a sense of obligation to my community that was then over 800 women entrepreneurs. I felt that if it's good for my business,
Right.
it could be good for their business as well.
Indeed.
So I joined, and I didn't want to waste time. I wanted to make sure that either this is good for me or not. And so I dove in. I looked at the back office. As I said, there was much less to see back then. But I also decided to invest time in the international meetings because initially I met this in the Hebrew speaking arena.
Okay.
And so I joined the international webinar. I joined Q&As. I heard our amazing CEO, and every meeting was like more of an wow, 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 and getting these aha moments and seeing even some of the demos.
Yeah.
And I like, there couldn't be a better timing for me. There's something here that's going to do the work for me, what I've paid already, and what I was trying to, invest my time, not really understanding how I'm going to do it, because it's one thing to put a website together or a blog, but then you have to SEO it, right?
Yeah.
You have to get it out there so everybody will see it. And here there's a company that says, well, there's something easy tools that you can use that will actually read your mind, in a sense, once you upload some of your content.
Right.
And then they guarantee traffic. Like, really? What company guarantees traffic? I have to tell you, I created a website once. I paid thousands of dollars for it. And then I called this respected SEO guy. And he says, okay, now pay me $800 a month for 6 months, and then we'll talk. And now I have to trust that what he's doing is right for me, because I have no idea. He could tell me stories. He could show me, Google Analytics that we'll talk about in a minute, all kind of stuff that I really don't understand how to read it because I don't come from that background.
Right.
And then I don't know what's at the end of the tunnel for me at the 6 months, and that's only the beginning. So, make a long story short, I dove in. Not only I dove in, when I started understanding the caliber of this, And I was talking to my husband. I'm a mother of four. My two older ones live overseas. They're already in their 20s. And of course, we purchased a founder's position for my husband, for my kids. My dad, even, he doesn't even open emails, but and he's a good example for a non-tech guy.
Yeah.
His birthday is in November. That was perfect for me. I called him up and I said, Dad, I got you a birthday gift. It's hard for me to explain it to you at this moment, but it will bring you a lot of gifts, in the continuing years to come.
Right.
And so, talking about a non-techie person, yes, we do have a lot of people in my organization that are not techie. And it's especially the older generation, although I'm not techie either. But it's surprising the caliber of people that this project contains, really. We have people that can't even open emails, that don't understand how to create a new email.
Yes.
And we help them.
Yes.
And we have people that are having difficulties with creating their own Zoom link to have a conversation, and we help them. And we have people that don't truly understand how they can maximize and what they can do on Facebook, and being attacked by all these fake profiles, and we help them. Yes. And we have people that are spending so much time and so much money on marketing their businesses, and they feel that they're getting nowhere, and we help them. And we also have people who were in charge of humongous projects in communication, in marketing, and we're in charge of hundreds of millions of dollars of budget, and we're in charge of thousands of employees. And they saw this opportunity, and they shared with me that they understood it within seconds.
Wow.
They signed up immediately. Not only they signed up, but they bought for themselves over 100 founders positions. Why? Because they want to help the world, because they want to gain more money for their amazing startup companies that they have in place. We have people that have been over a decade in the online marketing business, have been very successful.
Right.
And, you would think that this project will take away from them business, but they actually say, no, this is going to save me a lot of money, and I can help my customers become their own marketing experts. And I'm starting to think if I want to continue to work the way I have so far, because this is probably going to take me to many places and have me fulfill my dreams that I've been dreaming about all those years. Although they were successful people, they didn't fulfill it. And this opportunity will allow it for them. Oh. So, like you said, it's so wide and it's so deep, and there's so much to talk about. But you really have to be open-minded. Yes. To want to gain from this project.
Right. Oh, wow. That is just bang on. It's always interesting to hear both ends of that spectrum, those that, as you said, barely know how to create an email, but yet those that have been in business for years and see this and realize right away the enormity of it. So folks, as you're listening here, once we're done, I really want to encourage you to head over to onpassive.com, and there you're going to find our company website. You're going to see our locations, lists of many of our products. You will be able to read information about our CEO, Ash Mufara. There are testimonies, there's blogs, there is so much information out there about ONPASSIVE There's really no reason why a person doesn't do the due diligence and find out. So basically, what we're talking about, founders, we had mentioned that earlier. You can become a founder for $97 USA. And then you get into the back office by signing the non disclosure agreement, which is pretty standard for any kind of big company such as this. And then you're going to have a world of, oh my goodness, and sleepless nights, because I mean, we can talk about, you touched on things that for what you're doing in your blog, the different kind of products that you were working on, and one in particular, you mentioned the gentleman that it would cost you $800 a month for just 6 months, and then we'll talk. So there's going to be so many products in the ONPASSIVE lineup that you're going to be able to use. So we're talking 250 or less subscription, and that is going to get the founders absolutely all the products. And even if down the road more products come out, we have access to that. So there's a lot of things that are going to shift for you, I would imagine. Hey?
Yes, definitely. I wanted to share another angle to this because we in our company we talk a lot about passive people,
Yes.
people who just sign up and hibernate and don't want to do anything, and then we talk about people that have some businesses online.
Right.
But there's in between as well. We're a social breed, and for those who have who are social and just want to have a cup of coffee together, for those who have a hobby and want to share about their hobby, any type of content or just gathering could bring you so much more. And this is amazing. I touched a little bit and I mentioned Google Analytics.
Yes.
We receive that as a gift in our websites and blogs. However, this is a company of who I mentioned that uses our free information. They turn around and they sell it.
Yeah.
We are the slaves for Google Analytics. I don't recall Google sending me a thank you note or a check for offering them and giving them so much information about myself and about my peers and friends and family and colleagues and whoever.
Yeah.
But ONPASSIVE is a change. This is a company, like you've mentioned, and your guests here that I've heard your podcast before have mentioned, very, very generous CEO. This is a special breed. There are a lot of people that have been financially successful, but how many people do we know that are financially successful that want to spread the wealth? Yes, it's hard to grasp, right? That's why we get all these cynical and skeptic people looking at us as if, is this a cult? Are you dreamers? Well, you and I have spent quite some time, listening to our amazing CEO. I've been blessed with also asking him questions, receiving direct answers on live, not edited in any way, shape, or form. He's so down to earth, yet so complex in his mind. I mean, really, we have to listen very, very well and carefully to what he's saying, because it's like sometimes he's talking in two languages. The techies would understand it in one way, and us maybe more simple people, less techy, would understand it in a different way. He gets us so excited. He's so passionate. He knows the people. He can get on a Zoom with thousands of people, and he's talking to someone about their family member that's not feeling well. He's humble. He's caring. How many CEOs do we know that are so genuine in that way, that's willing to spend hours and hours and hours with any culture on
Yeah.
earth. You know, he's just a people's person.
Mhm.
Uh, it's 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 amazing how smart he is, and how good-hearted, and how generous and unselfish he is, and how much effort does he put in spreading the word.
Right.
He doesn't need our $97 to
No.
complete this project.
Mm.
He doesn't need it. He's paying every month hundreds of salaries. He's paying for a huge building in Hyderabad, India.
Mhm.
And we're now opening two other offices already. It was mentioned before, in Abu Dhabi and in Singapore, and more to come.
Yeah.
And so my $97 is not paying for that. So, and yet he takes the time to, to talk with us and to answer our questions. And I must say that sometimes the questions are, to me as a listener on the side, could be upsetting. Why does one feel like he comes with a deserving attitude? I mean, $97. So I feel blessed. I've mentioned before, we don't pick our family. We're born to the family that we have. And we don't always pick the kids that we give birth to as well, although some would say that we do. Um, but this unpassive family is a family that I chose a few months back, and I'm so happy and I'm so blessed. And every day I thank someone up there. I'm a spiritual person, but I'm not religious in that sense. Um, I just thank the world for sending Mali and Menachem. I thank, you know, the anything up there that showed me the direction to be open-minded, to be patient, to go through my own unpassive journey, if
Right.
you'd say that. I have met a wonderful family through Unpassive when I first joined, and I've created a wonderful family of hundreds of people now. And just this last summer, the beginning of July, I was in Israel. I visited my family, my older kids, and there's so many people there that I wanted to meet personally, but I couldn't take my time to meet them everyone one-on-one.
Right.
We had a meetup. We had over 80 people show up for a meetup, and they paid over $40 to be there.
Wow.
And it was a wonderful event. We were able to hug and to see each other in person outside of Zoom. By the way, speaking about Zoom, let's take a moment to just shed a light on that. So Tyra, you and I, we've used Zoom for a while. Um, I know so many people that have downloaded Zoom. I pay every month for Zoom. I'm sure you have to as well. And Zoom never sent me a letter, a thank you note, or a check, and have me share, their lucrative funds or whatever. I mean, they're
Yeah.
worth, what is it, $40 billion now.
Yeah.
Well, we have a wonderful, wonderful platform that's called O Connect,
Yes.
that is going to create a lot of smiles on earth. And we are going to have a lot of apples to share in our lifetime. And that makes me very, very excited. I just would like to say one last thing, because I know you're on a tight time, right? How much more time do we have? I don't have a clock.
We'll be wrapping it up. Sure. So
Okay.
you go ahead, you finish.
Okay. So the last thing I wanted to mention, we call it in Hebrew, tikkun olam, healing of the world. Tikkun is healing, olam is world. And on passive brings to it many people who want to do good things for
Yeah.
the world. I have two main things that I really like to do and focus my efforts on. And one is domestic violence. I want to help all these women that unfortunately sometimes have to go back to their partners
Right.
because they're not financially secured. I want to help those women to be independently, financially independent, help themselves, help them, their kids, and be proud of what they do. And then there's the group of PTSD people. That unfortunately, a lot of people are suffering from PTSD, and I want to give them also some sense of security, financial security, so they can also be proud of their life and about what they're doing. Many of them came back from war or from some kind of a hard struggle and served different countries around the world. Some, we have a lot in the United States and in Israel as well.
Mhm.
And that's a topic that's not being spoken enough about, in my opinion. And I think that we need to spread more of the knowledge about it and just supporting people. These are harsh times for many people
Yes.
and for those in need that have been in need even prior to COVID and more.
Right.
Tara, thank you. This was wonderful.
Wow. Wow. I am so totally blessed. This was an amazing time. Folks, you have, pardon me, you have a lot to take away in this show because from being high tech to barely opening an email and just everything in between. I love what you shared about our CEO, and I totally concur. Um, and even the thing of being able to, as Mike Ellis often says, we look after our bottom line, but then we can look outward. And to be able to affect the lives of those that are in struggles, whatever they may be, is really an exciting avenue to go down. So thank you once again. I am so blessed that you joined me today. And I hope the very best for you as you go forward in what you're doing. And folks, once again, thank you so much for joining me today. Remember to visit ONPASSIVE.com and you will learn so much more about our company. Bye for now, everyone.
Bye. Thank you very much, Tyra.